Hello, girls. Today I'll give you a short introduction of the poem Christabel by Samuel Taylor Coleridge. Coleridge was a simple, sincere, and a good hearted man. His ways were somewhat eccentric, but he was a man of great scholarship and learning. He was blessed with the gift of brilliant conversation. He devoted himself to muse in his young manhood and has produced more in criticism and philosophy than in poetry. He was gifted with highly imaginative powers, which became the basis of all his verse. He was a born procrastinator. He was a living Hamlet, forever plotting and designing, but seldom acting. So, most of his works are of fragmentary nature, but this small amount of poetry is of exquisite quality. Mr. Stopford Brooke says, all that he did excellently might be bound in 2 pages, but it should be bound in pure gold. The poem which we are going to do today is Christabel, and it was the first part of the poem was composed in 1797 and published in 1816. It is a descriptive poetry of magic and chivalry. It tells us the tale of innocent Christabel who comes under the influence of an evil spirit, Geraldine. The atmosphere here is set in supernatural tone, pointing towards the coming incidents. The background of the poetry is set in the medieval era. The clock tower, the palace with iron gate, the chamber of the leading lady give an insight into the medieval times. The elements of the poetry makes it the beginning of romanticism. Christabel contains some of Coleridge's best verses. The word pictures here are the most beautiful. The poem begins with a scene by a castle clock in the middle of the night. The atmosphere is set of a grey sky covered with clouds and the sounds of the owl, cock, and mastiff. The beloved daughter of Sir Leoline at this hour comes out of her palace and goes to the woods to pray for the welfare of her betrothed knight. She is pious and innocent. The lady is praying peacefully under the old oak tree and is disturbed by a painful moaning on the other side. Behind the oak, she finds an extremely beautiful damsel, Geraldine, who is seized by some men and was left amid the woods, helpless and miserable. Kind Christabel stretches forth her hand and ensures Geraldine that she would be safely sent home. They both slowly steal along the way and reach the iron gates. Suddenly, Geraldine falls down and Christabel has to lift her up and take her inside. From here begins a series of unusual, mysterious events which points at coming danger. As Geraldine enters, the mastiff makes an angry sniff. The dead fire comes back to life. Amid these strange incidents, they reach Christabel's chamber. Geraldine again falls down on the floor, and Christabel offers her the cordial wine prepared by her mother. In conversation, Geraldine comes to know about the death of the lady's mother and senses the presence of her spirit. The evil witch orders Christabel to take her clothes off and lie down on the bed. Meanwhile, Geraldine seems to be in great tension and struggle. She is perspiring and looking extremely exhausted. But after some time, a feeling of victory and pride comes on her face. Actually, the guardian spirit of Christabel's mother seems to be fighting to protect her daughter, but the evil intentions of Geraldine at last emerge victorious because the night was her hour. After that, Geraldine takes off her clothes and lie down near Christabel. She takes the lady in her arms and says there is a magic spell which works in the touch of her bosom, and therefore Christabel would not be able to share her misery and sorrow with anyone in the morning. The next morning, Christabel wakes up and she gathers up her strength. The helpless lady cries, thinking of the horrible incident, and then devoutly prays to God with extreme faith. The simple plot of magic and chivalry is ornamented by many literary devices which add mystery, beauty, charm, and much needed adventure. Alliteration, example castle clock, crowing cock. Some say she sees my lady's shroud. Onomatopoeia, crowing cock, twittu twittu of the owl. Symbolism, the night is chill, the cloud is grey. Here, the grey color symbolizes depression and melancholy of the atmosphere. Simile, as still as death. That is when Christabel and Geraldine pass Baron's room with utter silence. As infant at a sudden light, Christabel wakes up in the morning like a youthful hermitess. Imagery. The poet uses imagery to intensify the emotion of the readers and to take them to the world of supernatural. Therefore, Coleridge's treatment of supernatural is magical because by the magic of his art, he naturalizes the supernatural and supernaturalizes the natural. Solemn hush at the beginning prepares our mind for something darkly ominous and foreboding. The poet suggests more than describes, and by the use of subtle suggestion, he calls up a sense of eerie and fantasy. There is a medieval setting when he talks about the Baron's castle with its clock tower surrounded by moats, protected by massive iron gates, extensive courts, curiously carved chambers, all take us back to the medieval era. Extensive superstitions, the resistance of Geraldine to iron, the drowsy crowing of the cock, etc., are the superstitions introduced in subtle manner to intensify the effect of supernatural. In the words of Coleridge, it is my avowed object to depict supernatural or at least some romantic persons and characters, and to procure for these shadows of imagination that willing suspension of disbelief which constitutes poetic faith. Thank you.